Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 7, the final day of Road to Rediscovery. I am so super excited to be wrapping up this series and to really share what this last stage looks like. If you are new to my channel, you haven't been following along in this series, I started this series called Road to Rediscovery to really share about my journey with really transitioning multiple times in my career and really rediscovering who I am every step of the way. What I found out, hey mom, what I found out is that there was just a reoccurring cycle of things that I went through each and every time. And I know that embracing and just going through transition in general is just hard. It is hard, and it comes with a lot of emotional, spiritual, mental, physical challenges. And I wanted to be able to have a space where I shared not only my challenges, but the road that I went upon. And after going through this so many different times, what I took away from this and how I believe this could potentially help anyone else. So thank you all for joining me tonight. I'm super excited to share. And yeah, so we're going to get going. So the road to rediscovery, as you can see from the title, the last step is embracing the new. Embracing the new. So I'll walk you guys along the whole 7-step journey. When you're in a place where you are rediscovering who you are, when you have gone through transition, when you are going into a new industry, doing something new, something you've never done before, you are identifying with something or what have you, whatever it may be. You need something, babe? I need to move my chair. Okay, there we go. I'm not sure if that helped. Did that help?
This way.
This way? There we go?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was trying not to.
I know. It's y'all, we live. It is what it is.
Hey, well, but out here.
Thanks, babe, for joining me. You want to say hi to the people?
What's up?
First and last. How about that? Appreciate you. Yes. So, y'all, if you were not able to see all 7 steps, the road to rediscovery, what that looks like is one, starting in a place where you are being secure in who you actually are. Who God calls you to be is seeking the Lord and making sure you know why he destined you to be on this earth. And I believe, as the creator of the universe, the creator of our souls, he is willing and able and ready to share with you why he destined you to be on this earth. So that's step 1. Step 2 is recognizing, once you recognize why you're here and what you're called to do and what maybe your assignment is for that season, now you need to recognize that you need training. You want to be equipped. You want to study to show yourself approved. You want to know you basically want to be equipped for what you're called to do in this earth. Step 3 looks like immersing yourself in the environment, in a community that is conducive for your growth, recognizing that, hey, I can't be around people who belittle the new thing that I'm doing, people who don't really understand it. Everyone won't understand, and that's fine. But if you're in close quarters, in close proximity to my heart, I want to make sure that you're someone that is supporting me in this process, especially as I'm following Christ, right? So you want to immerse yourself in community. Step 4 is that pivotal point. So God told you who you are. You start doing the training. That could be years. Who knows? You're immersing yourself in community. You're around people who support you. And then you get to that place where it's like, whoa, God is introducing something new to me. And there's that pivotal point where you have to decide if you're going to take on the challenge of the new, take on the instruction, be obedient to the new thing that he's shifting you to. Okay. Step 5 is separating what you do from who you are. So in this stage, you're recognizing that, okay, God called me to a thing and now he's transitioning me in some capacity. I now need to separate what I do and what I did in a former season from who I am. And what you'll recognize is that who you are will just express itself in a different way every step of the way. Every transition that you go through, an expression of who you're meant to be in this earth is going to show itself. So what does that look like? For me, I knew that the Lord told me I was called to serve leaders. So that looked like when I was a social worker, I was serving parents who were leaders. When I was being a content creator being an influencer, if you will, leading people on how to create X, Y, and Z. Then I went to business. I was helping and assisting leaders in really marketing their business. And these are people who make big decisions around companies and other people's lives because they have employees, and they have a huge assignment. And now in ministry, serving leaders, and not just the leaders that you get to serve their vision, but maybe the leaders that God has put placed under you. So having that responsibility at all times, I recognized from step one that was my calling, and it just looked different every iteration, every transition, every time the Lord took me to a new place. Okay, so then step six was letting it go. So when you recognize that, okay, I got to make a decision, I've come to this pivotal place. Now I need to let what was go, because oftentimes we want to hold on tight to what was, and it keeps us from embracing the new thing. So that was step six. And then next, the final step, which it just goes and flows back into the next step, but the final one is embracing the new. So what does that look like? Oh my gosh. So for me, once I accepted the assignment to move to Tulsa, Oklahoma, I had to acclimate. I don't know, just the idea of me now being a communications director, like that was a little bizarre for me. It was different. And though I've always been a communicator, I've been a speaker in multiple places. I sing, use my voice in those capacities, use my voice to communicate. Well, honestly, to de-escalate situations. When I'm in my first internship situation, I had to de-escalate someone from suicide as they were on the phone. So I've always been a communicator in some aspect, but I never had the title of communications director. And so that caused me to be in a place where I had to embrace this new thing. Not that I had to just be only that, it wasn't constricting me to a thing, but it was like, hey, Kiara, you need to embrace this is your role. This is how people see you. This is the expectations of your new role. And you will be in that place where when you get to a place where you finally are embracing the new, embracing your new identity, people are going to have different expectations of you. People are going to look at you differently. People are going to they're going to have unspoken expectations. There is just a lot that comes with it. So my recommendation, if you're in this season where you have decided to embrace the new, is show yourself lots of grace. Show yourself lots of grace. Because we can be so hard on ourselves, like we got to get it right the first time. We have to be all the things when you are absolutely new to this new thing. So why do you think so arrogantly that you have to know all the things and be all the things? It is okay to walk in grace, okay? Another thing is really walking in humility, because you in the course of your life may have built yourself to have a reputation, for lack of a better words. Like people know you for this thing, they sing you for this thing, they've expected you to do these things in former seasons, and now you're in a new environment, you're in a new space, they don't know you for that. It's just like if you were to take on a new job, go into a new company, and you were a computer engineer last time and now you're in communications. People don't know you for being a computer engineer. So you may have all the things and know all the things as it pertains to integrating communications and computer engineering, however that may be. But people don't know you for that. And so it's walking humbly, knowing that, okay, is it required? Do they need to know me for that? Just be. Just simply be yourself, and people will see. You don't have to prove yourself in this stage. It's just simply embracing what God has called you to be, and He will show you how to show up in this new role. He will equip you. It reminds me of Joshua when Moses had passed away, and now it was his time. And the Lord was telling Joshua, be strong and courageous. Be strong and courageous. Be strong. I got to tell you how to show up, because you looking a little weak. I know you scared. I know you probably didn't expect to be this new leader trying to lead the people out. And you had such an incredible leader before you. Now I have to teach you how to show up. And that requires humility. That requires, once again, leaning on the Lord. Lord, how do I walk in these new shoes that I wasn't planning on walking in? How do I do that? Yeah. So that was a big thing in this particular step. I'm trying to think back when I had to embrace being a social worker. Funny enough, like when you get your degree, sometimes you can feel like a fraud. It's like, did I have enough experience? Am I this and am I that? But you have to embrace the fact that no, I am a social worker. I did what was required to do what was needed. And here I am showing up big as what I have studied for, what God has called me to, and all the things. So, yes, that is my encouragement in this season is just to show up confidently and humbly, and knowing that the Lord will teach you how to do that, but also allowing yourself space to have grace for yourself, giving yourself space to fail forward. You will not get it right when you're rediscovering yourself. When you're rediscovering a new role, you won't get it right every single time. So don't be so caught up in trying to be perfect that perfectionism gonna break off in this stage. It's not going to help you progress. If you feel like you have to be perfect all the time, it's going to be more stressful more than anything. But yeah, y'all, that is the road to rediscovery. And once you start embracing the new, guess what? You have to be reminded once again of who you are. Going back to that step one, being secure in your identity, knowing that outside of this new assignment, outside of this new role, I know who I am because of what God said about me. And it can express itself in different ways, but I know who I am. Then it's going to take you back to step two, which is recognizing now in this new space, in this new role, I need training. I thought I had it figured out. Yeah, I had social work figured out. That was great. Now you're in marketing. Ooh, now you need training again. Okay, now you're in marketing. Got it figured out. Now you got to go to communications. You need training. The steps keep on repeating. And so it's a beautiful journey when you see it as a journey and not like this step by step destination. And I have to master all of it. Some of these stages are not quick. Many of them for me took years for some steps, months for some steps, sometimes weeks, but they all took time. And the beautiful thing about it is that you will see each step if you allow yourself to lean into the process. I think sometimes we get into new roles and we think, how will I ever be good at this? How will I ever be known for this? How will I ever be a solution to all the things that are happening? And the beautiful thing is, and in time, it will happen. And you don't have to rush the process. The process will happen as you humbly submit to what is happening, as you allow yourself to blossom and grow. And so, a big part of the road to rediscovery is really allowing you to be okay with the growth, allowing yourself to take on a new form. And it doesn't have to be a form that you preconceived and you thought that you will always be. It's taking the limits off of your identity, what you thought was your identity, because you kind of confuse the two, like we talked about in step, I think 5 or 6, where you start confusing your character or your identity with your creative expression. You got to recognize that, oh, I am who I am. I am who God called me to be. I am that chain breaker. I'm an excellent communicator. I'm great at organizing things, what have you. But I am not this project that I just finished and people didn't like. No, absolutely not. So it's allowing yourself to come out of all the things, take the limits off, breathe, and just allow God to do the work in you. And that's what he said he would do. God said he was faithful to complete the work that he started in you. So allow him to complete the work. And you are going to ever be evolving. I won't always be in this role, in this assignment. And there may be new things. My husband and I were talking about, like, hey, if we weren't doing this, what else would we be doing? Like, oh, that sounds really cool. And so it's like you don't have to stay one dimensional. We're allowed to be multidimensional, have multi potentials, multi passionate. We're allowed to do that, and you don't have to stay stuck forever. And so I would pray that you would pray to God and ask him, where is he leading you in this time? I would love to know what step resonated with you, whether you're watching now or you're watching a replay. Which step resonated with you the most? Which step do you believe that you're in? I would love to know. But yes, you all, this wraps up the road to rediscovery. We did have a big announcement, but in this process, I am rediscovering my capacity in this season. And you can have big, grand ideas, and then the reality of it is like, wait a minute, was that self induced? Just being a little too zealous, a little too, and not recognizing that is this the season for that, so that discerning. So that is a place that I am in right now, to be quite honest, where I'm rediscovering, like, hey, in past seasons I could do all the things, and in this season I cannot, not well, and I want to do things well. In past seasons, Kiara would try to do all the things, but I don't have to. I don't have to just pick up all the things for the sake of picking it all up. You can choose to just be well and excellent with your portion. So I love you all. I pray this was a blessing, and I will see you all soon. Who knows what's going to happen with Meet the Masons, and what we're going to do next. As you can see, we have evolved even through this process. So that has been fun. Thank you all for journeying with me. I love you all, and I'll see you later. Bye.